Hello everyone, I'm Gurpreet Kaur from Applied Sciences Department, CGC College of Engineering. So today I'm going to take up a topic from English, and as you can see on screen, today's topic is the concept of word formation. Before I begin with this particular topic, I want to discuss few things, or I want to enlighten you with information related to concept of word formation. So let's get started. What is word formation? So first of all, the term comes in mind, that is word formation. So what actually is word formation? It is a process basically how new words are created. So how we create new words and what is their usage? Why we create new words? The question here is why and how. So I'm going to answer these two questions here in this particular lecture. First of all, I want to tell you one thing. In linguistics, word formation is the creation of a new word. Like, what is linguistics? Linguistics is basically study of language. Language is speech sounds as well as the word formation. So this is what actually linguistics deals with. But when we discuss speech sounds, we always go with the phonology. So whenever we discuss speech sound, the way we speak, that is phonology. But when it comes to the written information, when it comes to the word formation, we always go by the morphemes. So morphemes are basically the new words, the creation of new words. And these are also known as morphology. So basically, the point which we are going to discuss today, that is morphology. So we are going to discuss everything under morphology. I'll repeat once again, morphology is basically the study of word formation. So how we create new words and why do we create those new words. Before we begin with this word formation concept, all of you need to understand the basic parts of speech. So what are these basic parts of speech? As you can see on screen, noun, pronoun, verb, adverb, adjective, preposition, conjunction and interjection. So these are 8 parts of speech around which all the words rotate. So whatever words we create, whatever words we have, whatever language we use, whatever words we use to convey the information, to receive the information, it goes with the help of these parts of speech only. Now if you can see, there are 8 parts of speech, but 4 are the more valuable ones. I won't say valuable, but yes, they are more in use, as you can say. Let's take about the less used ones: pronoun, preposition, conjunction and interjection. If you can see, the second one pronoun, then the fifth one preposition, then conjunction and interjection. So these are limited in number. So we have to repeat its usage. So these are limited, like 50 to 60. If you talk about prepositions, so we have 50, 60 to 70 maybe. We have prepositions, so we use them repetitively whenever we create new words or whenever we create sentences. Similarly, conjunctions and interjections. Interjections are limited ones because we show our expressions in interjections. Similar is with the pronouns. We replace the nouns whenever pronouns are basically when we replace the nouns. So even they are limited in number. But the rest of the 4, the noun, verb, adverb and adjective, they are more in use, they are more in number, and you will see lakhs, thousands, lakhs and n number of words we can form around these. The entire dictionary is filled or is full of these nouns, adverb, adjective and verbs, if you can see around. So this is how it differentiates when we create words. So this is what you need to understand, that how we create words and what is the basic thing which we need to keep in mind while we create words. So this parts of speech, the information of these parts of speech is the first basic thing when we start working on word formation process. Now, how we work over it. Like I told you, the 4 of them: verb, noun, adjective and adverb. As you can see on screen that there is a verb, there is a noun, adjective and adverb. So I have written one word. So there is one word in different versions, if you can see, in different parts of speech you can call it, or they are created differently. First word is succeed. It is a verb. Similar, that word is success. That is a noun. Successful, adjective. Then comes successfully. That is adverb. Now the word remains the same. We created it out of success. Then it became succeed, successful, successfully. But if you can see, we cannot use the same word in 2 different sentences, right? What is the reason? We cannot use succeed when we are talking about success. We have to put success only. When we cannot say successfully when we are supposed to use success. So this is the difference, that these are used more often. Similarly, we have one more example to it: create, creation, creative, creatively. If you can see this one particular word, right, create is one verb. Out of that create, we have created three more words, that is creation as a noun, creative as an adjective, and then creatively as an adverb. So this is the difference. This is how we create new words, and this is how parts of speech plays a very, very important role here. So this is the basic information regarding word formation and how to create new words. So this is how we create new words. I'm going to give you few more examples so that you can understand the concept in a better way. So let's move. First is, so now I'm going to discuss the types of word formation. So under them, first is derivation. If you can see in linguistics, derivation is the process of forming new words, right, on the basis of existing words. So derivation is like we derive from somewhere. So this is what derivation is. So in this particular thing, what do? We have an existing word, like I gave you the example previously. With noun, verb, adjective and adverb. So similarly, we have a word, already existing word, and we create new words out of those particular words, already existing words which we are aware of, and we create new words out of that. You can see the first example, the word happiness and unhappy. So the base verb of these two words is happy. First is happiness and unhappy are derived from the word happy. So if you can see, the word was happy, but we have created two new words out of that happy, that is happiness and unhappy. Similarly, the word determination has been derived from determine. So the base word was determine. We were already aware of this particular word, and we have created a new word, that is determination. Derivation is the process of forming a new word by means of affixation. So what is affixation now? Basically, if you can see in the first example, happiness and unhappy, we have created those two words out of happy, right? So in the first word, what we did, we have added a suffix to it. We have added suffix to happy and it became happiness. And in the second, unhappy, we have added a prefix to the word happy and it became unhappy. So this is how we create new words. So we follow the method of affixation, like prefix, suffix, infix. Now there is a new word, if you can see, infix. Like I told you, prefixes which comes before the word, suffixes which comes after the word, and infixes sometimes we put or insert a word inside, or basically within that particular word, between that particular word. So this is how it works, and we create new words. So the first type under this is, under word formation, is derivation. So we derive a word from already existing word. Next type we have compounding. Trust me guys, this is an interesting one. Compound is a lexeme. Lexeme is also known as a word that consists of more than one other lexeme, alright. So you will see in the next example that it is categorized in two ways. So what is compounding? Compounding consists of more than one word basically. When you have two existing words together, that is compounding. So this is the basic understanding of this, but we need to understand the types of compounding as well. So there are two ways to put forward compounding. Number one is endocentric compound and another one is exocentric compound. So if you can see, if you go into the detail of this endocentric one, it consists of a head and a modifier. So this is what you need to keep in mind. But yes, you can definitely go with the example so that you can have better understanding. So if you can see, the English compound dog house, where house is the head and dog is the modifier, which shows that house is intended for the dog. Now, if you go by this basic example, that is dog house. So if I say this word dog house to a layman, obviously he will get some idea, okay, there is a word dog and there is a word house related to it. So you will definitely think that yes, it is something related to dog. A house may be meant for the dog. So this is the basic understanding. So basically you can judge the word from the way it is. So if I say dog house to you, that means you will get some clarity, okay, something house and dog. So it has some connection. But when we go to the exocentric compound, you are not able to identify because you don't have any hidden hint given over there. Do not have a head and their meaning cannot be transparently guessed from its constituent parts. So this is the difference, okay? In endocentric, you can understand the word by looking at it. You can at least get the meaning nearby. But when it comes to exocentric, you are not able to identify the meaning or guess the meaning of that particular word. So the example here is white collar. If you can see, white collar. So we always say white collar jobs, right? So we use this particular word. But if we go by the word, if we give this word to a layman, what do you think? Will he be able to understand? So he will associate it with white and collar. Maybe a shirt's collar, that is white. So something like that. But no, it has a hidden meaning. That's something white collar job or maybe something like that, right? So basically it has nothing to do with the collar as well as with the white. So this is what you need to understand. This is the basic difference between the two types or the two ways of compounding, that is endocentric and exocentric. So few more examples for compounding. Number one, atom bomb. You can see atom has its individual meaning, then bomb has its own individual meaning, but when we join them together, they become one particular word. Next is waiting list. So if we come with the waiting list, so waiting is, it has its individual identity, then come list. List is again a separate word, but when we join them together, they become a complete word. Similarly, if you go with the homework, low paid, dining room, fireplace, cupcake, email. Now email is electronic mail here, okay? So if you go by all these words, you will see that they have their individual identity as well. Apart from that, they act as one single word. So this is what compounding is. This is how we create new words with the method of compounding. So what we have done in compounding, we have taken two different words and we have joined them and created one single meaning out of that particular word. All right, so like homework. So home is something else, work is something else. We joined them together, we created one single word. So this is what compounding is. So let's move on to the next type. Blending. Again, a very, very interesting one. Personally, I like this blending one because it's very easy one, or it's an interesting way to create new words. As you can see, formed by joining parts of two words after clipping. So this is what we do in blending. As you can see by the name itself, blending means to blend some ingredients, okay? So here we are going to do the same thing. We are going to blend the ingredients so that you can have a new word, you can have a new mixture to create something new, right? So let's go with the example. When parts of two separate words are combined to form a new word, it's called blending, okay? So parts of two different words, when they are joined together, they create one particular word. If you can see, the first example is motel. So motel is motor plus hotel, right? Second is telecast. So television plus broadcast. What we did in there, so we have kept the tele of television and we have kept the cast of broadcast. So we have created a new word, telecast. Similarly, brunch, very commonly used word. We use it on daily basis, right? On weekends, we especially go with this brunch thing at our home. So you can see brunch. Brunch is basically the blending of breakfast and lunch, if you can see. So we have taken B from the breakfast and BR from the breakfast and UNCH from the lunch itself. So we have created a new word, that is brunch, that is something midway between breakfast and lunch. So this is what it means basically. So next word is smog. Smog is the blend of smoke and fog. As you can see, the best example for this smog word is the capital of India, that is Delhi. So if you go to New Delhi, you will see this smog very often. So smog is, how we created this word smog, we have taken SM of smoke and OG from the fog. So we have created a new word, that is smog. Similarly, we have another biopic that is out of biography plus picture. So this is how we create new words. So basically this is blending. Blend means to mix something together and to create something new. So new creation of this. So this is, like I told you, I like to blend. So this is blending. Acronym. As you can see, acronym is a word made up from first letter of the word that makes up of name of something. We use this word, we use this acronym many a times. If you can see NASA. NASA is a very common example to acronym. So NASA actually is name, what is the full form of NASA? That is National Aeronautics and Space Administration, right? So, but we always recognize it with NASA, NASA. So this is how we create new words. So again, everybody knows this word NASA. Nobody goes with the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. So nobody takes that name. Everybody knows it with NASA. Though it has a different definition, it has a complete name of itself. But NASA itself is a new word which we always use, all right? So another example we have of this radar, right? Radio detection and ranging. So we have this particular acronym here. So we have so many acronyms here which are which act as different words over there. So this is how this acronym, the next type of word formation works. So this is how we create new words a part of out of the which we made up from the first letter of the words that make up the name of something. So this is how we create new words. Next, we have calc borrowing. So this is a new word I think it is going to add on to your vocabulary. So borrowing is, as you all know, that borrowing is taking it from somewhere. Borrow is to borrow something from someone. So this is what we are going to discuss here in borrowing as well. So if you can see, borrowing is just taking a word from another language. So here what do? We take words from another language and we make it part of our language, right? Or sometimes we do some kind of modifications to that particular word to make it part of our language. So we will see how we use this particular borrowing and how we create new words out of this borrowing. So the borrowed words are called loan words or calc. So now the meaning is clear of calc or borrowing. You can say a calc or you can call it borrowing, all right? Loan words, they are also called loan words. A loan word is a word that directly taken into one language from another language with little or no translation. So English has many loan words. As you can see, we borrow a lot. English language borrows a lot of words from different languages, and now we have influence of, so because of this globalization, we have influence of many languages into one particular language. So we use different languages. We have borrowed words from different languages, and in our daily when we talk to somebody, we use those words on daily basis. You can check out the examples here, like biology, boxer, ozone. So, were you aware that these are the words which we use in English? They are taken from the German language. So, biology, boxer, ozone. These are not from English. They have their origin from German. So, they are from German language. Next, we have from Turkish language. We have jacket. Very commonly used word, we think it's a word of English, but no, it's from Turkish language. Yogurt, very commonly used term nowadays. We all love yogurt. So that is from Turkish background it is. Okay, so similarly we have from Czech language, that is pistol, robot. There is a lot of robotics these days. We talk about that, we talk about pistol. So that is from Czech language. So we have words, so these are few examples. There are n number of words which we have borrowed from different languages, and we have made it part of our language. We have made it part of our English language, you can call it. So German, Turkish, so these are few examples to quote for you. Otherwise, we have more loan words, we have calc borrowing. We keep on doing this so that we can improve the words, we can make new words, we can create new words, and we can add on to more words to our vocabulary. Next type we have neologism or coinage. So what is neologism or coinage? This is something which is interesting, and this is something which you people need to understand. It is the invention of totally new words, either deliberately or accidentally. So most of the times we create, whenever we start we create a new firm or we are into something, we always look forward that we give our firm or maybe some kind of name which should be common, which should be popular among people. So we look forward to those kind of names. Even when we name our children, when we name the young ones, we always look forward to the words that are different from others, so that there should be a sense of identity to that, right? So this is what neologism or coinage. So, but sometimes we create those words deliberately, and sometimes accidentally those words are created. As you can see, I will show you it in the example further. So this is a very rare and uncommon method to create new words, but in the media, people try to outdo each other with more and better words to name their products. So it always goes with the media. Everybody looks forward. So nowadays, we always go with what we see, we buy that, right? So we always look forward to what new name we can give. As you can see the examples, Google, Kodak, Nylon, Band-Aid. Band-Aid is basically a brand name, but when it comes to Band-Aid, we all look forward that, okay, a plaster we put on our wound, right? So that is what Band-Aid it's all about. But this brand became a household name, Band-Aid. Everybody knows that plaster is Band-Aid. Google, the day Google kept its name, No, nobody knew that it is going to be a household name for everybody. So this is how the Google name is being created. Kodak, Xerox. We always call it Xerox, right? Xerox copy, Xerox something. So this has become a household name. So accidentally or deliberately, sometimes we give a different name, Amazon. So we have taken that name from some river, right? So we always create those words. We always take those words so that we can have some differentiation or we can have a different name to that. So this is how accidentally or deliberately we create new words. So these are Google itself. There's no particular meaning to Google, but when it comes to searching something, what comes to our mind? That comes Google. So this is how it works, right? So again, it is a new word to your vocabulary, and it is a new word, our word formation process. Next type we have reduplication. So this is the next type we have, that is reduplication. Now again, you need to understand what reduplication. So duplication is there, that means to have a duplicate of that. Now how it works, it is the process of forming new words either by doubling an entire word or part of a word. So English makes use of reduplication very rarely. So we hardly use this reduplication method. It is more common among toddlers, whenever we teach toddlers or whenever we teach young children. So this is a more common method over there, reduplication. As you can see the examples, Humpty Dumpty. So these people have this poems these are the poems for the toddlers, or these are the poems for the young children, Humpty Dumpty. So you can see the first word is different, rest of the term is the same. UMPTY, Humpty Dumpty, hustle, bustle, hodgepodge. Right, so we always use these words at our home. It's not like Humpty Dumpty with children, with kids, but if you can see, whenever we are at our place and some mess is being created all around, so we always say hodgepodge. There's a lot of hustle bustle in the market, so this is how we go with it. So these are most commonly used words, and you can see reduplication is basically the first word is different in all these words and rest of the words remain same. So this is how reduplication works, like Humpty Dumpty, hodgepodge, hustle bustle. I think you guys can remember this particular words because this is really something which we can keep in our mind, reduplication. Moving on to the next type, clipping. So this is going to be the last of word formation which I am going to discuss today, though there are a few more types of it. So I'm going to take this last one, clipping. Clipping, as the name says, clipping is basically to clip the words. So sometimes we cut few words out of it, sometimes we clip it, sometimes we clip the beginning, sometimes we clip the back of the word, sometimes we clip the middle of the word. You can see in the examples, we have 4 parts of this. Basically, it is reduction of a word. So basically, we clip the word, we cut the word from back clipping, fore clipping, middle clipping, complex clipping. So we are going to discuss this one by one. Back clipping, like I already told you, from the back we clip the word, fore, from the front we clip the word, middle, from the middle we clip the word. So you will see in the next slides how we do that. So coming to the first one, back clipping. If you see, back clipping is basically the word advertisement. So we normally say ad, right? We do not say advertisement. There are a lot of advertisements in this picture, in this particular serial, in this particular movie. We don't say that. We say ads. A lot of ads are there. So from where we got this word ad? What we did, we clipped the rest of the word and we have just kept the first 2 words. That is ad. So in a way, we have created a new word out of advertisement, that is ad. Moving on to the next word, doctor. So if you can see, doc. Nowadays, we all use short forms to everything. So we use doc. Going to a doc, right? So that is out of doctor. So we have clipped the back of the word, that is TOR, and we have kept the word doc. Then comes memorandum, which we normally use in our official places. Memorandums are very common in professional business, right? So in memorandum, what we have kept the front word memo only, the short form we use it, and then we have deducted or we have clipped the word random. So this is how a new word memo is being created. So this is called back clipping. So we have clipped the back of the word and then we have created new words out of it. Moving on to the fore clipping. So similarly, we have back clipping. Now we have fore clipping. Now what is this fore clipping? Fore clipping is basically the front. We are supposed to clip the front here, as the name says. Phone. So from where this word came, phone? It came from telephone. The initial word was telephone. but it was too long, so we have kept it phone. We have clipped the first word tele. Similarly, versity. So we have created a new word versity out of the word university, right? So the actual word is university, but we have clipped uni out of it and we just kept versity out of it. So this is how this 4 clipping works. Next we have middle clipping. So what is middle clipping? There's the word flu, very common, right? So from where we got this word flu, whenever we feel uneasy, we have like sore throat or we have some runny nose, we always use this word flu. I'm suffering from flu, right? From where this word flu came, it came from influenza. Actually, the actual word to it is influenza, but I think most of the people they might not be aware of the word influenza. So what we did here, middle clipping. So we have just kept the middle word and we have clipped the front and the back. Similarly, there will be few words in which we have to clip the middle part and we have to keep the rest. So this is how we create flu, influenza. So we are retaining it, right? Last is complex clipping. So this is the last of this. So complex clipping, what is this? In this, clipped forms are used in compounds. So like I told you in the beginning, I hope if you can remember, the second type we discussed compounding. So this is what we are going to do here. We are going to use compounds. Compounds is basically 2 words together. So one part of the original compound most often remains intact. So here we are going to use like 2 words. If you can see, optical art, organization man. But what we did in the complex clipping thing, out of optical we have just kept op and we have clipped the TICAL and we have kept the word art. The thing which you need to keep in mind here is that one word out of the 2, first of all, you need to keep in mind that in complex clipping, we have 2 words together, okay? So like optical art, organization man. But what you need to do here, in one word will remain intact. If you can see, art here is intact and man here is intact. So we have clipped the one word. So in that, we have clipped optical. So we have kept op. So op art it became, organization man, it's become org man. So though the meaning remains the same, that is organization man, but actually the new word is created, that is org man or op art. So this is how we create words. So these are few types of word formation which you can remember, which you can work over. So I'll quickly revise with you before I end this. So actually what we did the concept of word formation. What is concept of word formation? How we create new words, okay? So there are many ways to create new words. So we have discussed few types how we can create. But before we create new words, we need to have good understanding of parts of speech. So that is noun, pronoun, verb, adverb, adjective, preposition, conjunction, interjection. So we need to have a good understanding of parts of speech, and then we can understand the various types. So we have discussed derivation among them. We have discussed compounding. Then we have discussed blending. After that, we have discussed neologism. After that, we have discussed reduplication, then clipping. So this is what we have discussed today. So this sums up with the concept of word formation. I hope you must have got some clarity over the concept of word formation. So any questions, you are most welcome to give them. Thank you so much.